Hello, everyone. Good morning or good day. I hope that you are watching this, and if you are watching this, well and good because you are really following my instructions. Since I was not able to meet you, I promise you to watch this video discussions. Okay, so let us start. So I think we end up here the last time that we met in the Zoom meeting that here in the what do you call this, the do's and don'ts in going to community immersion. So the last time around we tackled upon about the community immersion and also the what we call what do you call this, the definition of community immersions and what are the things that we should do in community immersions or not, what are the things that we should not do. Now let's go with the community development and community organizing. All right. So let's go with their definitions. Actually, there are different definitions of community development and community organizing. So let's see here. Let us read, no, according to Jocelyn Karangay. So this is just follow my cursor, Jocelyn Karangay, no, of the College of Social Work and the Community Development University of the Philippines define community as a group. Take a look on the bold letters here. Bold words, I should say. Group of people together in geographically defined area with common history and defined patterns of relationship. So as you can see, it's a group of people. There are a group of people living together. They're living together in one place, and that is they define it as area. There is certain area that they are living with, no, in a certain community. So that meron siyang history and also they define patterns of relationship. That is actually community organizing. These patterns are organized into specific institutions. So, yung pattern na yan, family, economic, politics, education, religion, healthcare, and others. So, kung wala yung pattern na yan, yung mga religion, wala silang education, wala silang family, then you can say that they are organized, community organized. So, intended to provide means assisting people to carry out day-to-day activities. On the other hand, no, so that is actually the definition of Jocelyn Karangay in 1998. No? And sabi niya, various schools of thoughts, no, maraming eskwelahan na nagbigay ng definition of development. Nonetheless, there is no universally accepted definitions for development that had been widely accepted by the development workers themselves. So take note of that. Wala namang talagang universal na ito yung susundin, no. However, no, we will be following or we'll be using the different definitions on this, no. So definition of community organizing. See here, according to Murray Ross, no, the definition of community organizing. These are prominent and experts in community organizing. So first is Murray Ross. He said that it is a process by which a community identifies its needs and objectives, prioritize these needs and objectives, takes action in respect to them, and it eventually extends and develops cooperative and collaborative attitudes and practices in the community. So, sabi ni Murray, no? Or Murray, no? Sabi niya, there is and identifies its need, no? Na-identify nila yung needs at what also the objectives. And also the prioritize, their priority, I should say, is their needs of objective. Takes action, so meron siyang objective, action, and respect them and eventually extend develops cooperative and collaborative attitudes and practices in the community. So una kay Murray, no, meron siyang objective, and what is the priority. Ina-identify nila kung ano yung need at ano yung gagawin natin. So the community organizers will work hand in hand with them. Now, next is Arthur Dunham. Okay. Arthur Dunham, a process of engineering and maintaining adjustment between social welfare needs and resources in geographical area or special field of service. That is for Arthur Dunham. Oh. Maintain. So, sabi nga nina dito, kay Murray naman is objectives and priority of needs. Dito naman kay Arthur Dunham, engineering and maintaining adjustments between social welfare needs and resources. Okay? So, ano yung kailangan i-maintain at ano yung aayusin? Yan, that is for Arthur Dunham. And number 3, UP College of Social Work and Community Development, a continuous sustain. So there is a continuous and sustained process of organizing people to work collectively and efficiently on their problems and mobilizing people to develop their capabilities and readiness to respond and take action on their long-term and immediate needs. So as you can see, sabi niya dito kanina kay Murray, no? Sabi niya, what are the objectives and ano yung priorities natin sa needs natin at we have to work. So, sabi naman ni Arthur Dunham, we have to engineer. Ano yung i-aayusin natin? Ano yung i-maintain natin o what are the adjustments? And then eto kay number 3, medyo mas pa na siya, no? Mas broad na siya. So a continuous and sustained process of organizing people to work collectively and efficiently. So there is a continuity already organizing people and efficiently on their problems. And mobilizing, we have to mobilize the people. No? Papagalawin mo sila. Alright, and number 4, Philippines Business for Social Progress or the PBSP. So there must be a systematic, that's number 1, plan liberating change progress of transforming a complacent, deprived, and malfunctioned community into an organized, conscious, empowered, self-reliant, just, and human institution. So, it's almost the same, but here, meron siyang word na systematic. So, there should be systematic, no? So, there should be a system, there should be a plan, and liberating change, progress of transforming complacent. So, napakaganda, no? So, there is a empowerment here. Conscious empowerment. And Jerry Leon's, no, they also define as community organizing as lacerative, no, or lacerative, I don't know how to pronounce that, no, and participatory process whereby, no, a community is assisted to become a self-reliant body, collective building, and other alternative social order to respond to the needs of the man economic, political, social, cultural, and ecological concerns. So here, they just simply use the participatory process, yung how we participate in the community to be assisted to become a self-reliant body. Okay? Okay, so there are 5 actually definitions that which we can use. No? Napakaganda. Starting from Ray, there is supposed to be objectives, no? Kung ano yung priority natin sa community niyan and we take actions, we have to collaborate with them. And according to Dunham also, we have to engineer it. Ano ba yung i-correct natin? Ano ba yung ayusin natin? And maintain the adjustment of social welfare needs. And number 3, no, there should be a continuity and sustained process of organizing people. Hindi pwedeng inorganize mo sila and then you go out, no? And then parang iniwan mo na lang sa ere. Sometimes we tend to do that, no? Yan yung usually na ginagawa natin. Sa una lang maganda, pero sa gitna na, then wala na. And then number 4, no, Philippines BSP, medyo mas malalim, no, broad, which is there should be a systematic, may system na siya, plano mo, there should be a plan the whole year, oh, or the whole month, no? Liberating change, progress of transforming complacent. Right? And then Jerry Leon's, no, there should be a participatory process. Hindi lang yung kayo yung nag-organize and then wala nang participation yung mga tao. So there should be assisted, no? Become self-reliant. So ibig sabihin hindi yung ikaw yung magagalaw na lahat, kundi papagalawin mo lahat sila. Alright. Now what is the nature of community organizing? Let's see. So basically, community organizing is a problem solving. Community is empowered with the knowledge and skills to identify priorities, its needs, and problems. So of course, no, bakit ba tayo pumapasok sa certain community? No? So we have to empower the knowledge and skills to identify priorities. No? Yan yung mga dapat natin gawin. This also includes harnessing community resources needed to address these needs and problems, takes actions, and collectively. Bakit ba natin to ginagawa? And di ba kaya na? Because there are communities that which they are in need of our help, or they are in need of the help of others. So community organizing is not that the end in itself, nor it is merely a technique. So this is a community organizing, this is a technique. This is a technique. So let us see what I bold there, no? Working towards the empowerment of the people to determine their development and shape their own future. That's the nature, no? Their own future is significant feature community organizing. Take note of this. By the word empowerment, because many, no? Many, hindi ko naman sinasabi bakit kailangan pa ng empowerment, because hindi lahat nakakapunta sa eskwelahan. There are particularly for those who are in the mountains, so they don't have money to come here, or they don't have the wala silang paraan para makapunta. For example, in Sierra Madre, no? Hirap na hirap sila. So since di sila nakapag-aral, so kailangan mong pumunta doon. We did that, no, actually. And then we have to empower them because madali lang silang lokohin, no? And shape their own future is significant feature of community organizing. Yan yung napaka-importante. Kahit nabuo mo yung certain community, if you don't empower them, then definitely the community is lifeless, no? The end of community organizing ends is the active and collective participation of people in development work. There should be active collaborations. So yung kinakwento ko sa inyo na pumunta ako sa bundok, no, actually what we did is that gagawa sila. So for example, here is yung gagawa sila ng court. No? Hindi kami yung gumawa ng court, but we lead them how to work. So gumawa kami ng court, no? Inayos namin yun, tin, uh, tin, tinanggal namin lahat ng mga mga grass, no? Mga dumi doon, and then inayos, pinatag namin yon, naglagay kami ng ring. Pero yun, without their help, hindi namin nagawa yun. And until that time, no, sila kasi noon, hindi sila magkakasundo. Meron kasing different cultures and traditions of the different uh, anong tawag, different community. So merong isneg, itneg, so depend iba't iba sila. So parang mayroon din discriminatory, particularly on the ATAS. But along with it, no, that's the objective. Gusto namin mapagkaisa sila. And that's why there are a lot of things. So we use mass gathering, no? So those are the things that are examples that we did. So what is the role of community organizers is supportive. The community organizers do not lead the people. Take note of that. Kaya nga yung sinabi ko kanina, hindi kami yung nag-lead, but we guide them, no? We assisted them. But they assist in catalyzing, no, the development of the people's own leadership and management of capability. Okay? So take note of that. So pag nasa community kayo, hindi kayo yung leader, na kayo yung boss, no? O ito yung sundin nyo, no? So, alamin muna natin kung ano yung alam nila kasi mas marami pa silang alam kesa sa atin actually. Because that is their certain community, doon sila nabubuhay. So, parang kami sa amin no, na example ko lang, uh, hindi naman kami magaling sa bundok. But then we study a lot of things naman in the seminary. So all the things that we learn in the seminary or in the school, no, for that matter, we apply it. And then sila yung ginagawa nila, which is good, no. So another thing, no, closer to their goal liberations and self-determinations. So what is their goal is liberation and self-determinations. You know, in some place, no, wherein they are, yung sa tingin mo parang discriminated sila, wala silang, parang andun lang sila, parang the feeling of they are separated, no? And parang yung tingin nila sa sarili, pag nakakita sila ng guro actually, ng bundok, no, parang kulang na lang magbow sila. Wherein, ang tingin nila ay parang boss talaga yung mga nakatapos. And that's why, no, they, uh, we empowered them na hindi ganito, lahat tayo pantay-pantay, ganun, so forth and so on. So those are examples. So to ensure organizing programs will be attained in self-reliance. Take note of that. So there should be self-reliance and sustainability. The people's, not the buildings and other physical monetary attributes. Take note of this. So if you organize a certain community, so ito yung bubuin natin, ito yung gagawin natin, and then so magpapatayo tayo ng building, and then yun na, napatayo ng building, then tapos na. Pag hanggang dun lang, pag pinatayo mo yung building, and then definitely wala kayong ginawa, then definitely you are only your goal is only to put up only a building, and then wala naman kayong ginawa. For example, magpapatayo ka ng basketball court because that is your project as the head. And then after that, natapos na yung basketball court, pero you did not organize or wala kang hindi mo sinustain yung community na magkakaroon kayo ng liga and so forth and so on, then definitely that is useless. So therefore, there should be self-reliance and sustainability of what is the main goal of this community organizing, right? So programs will be able to attain self-reliance and sustainability. For example, in the church, no, they just put up a church, no, nag-put up ka ng church pero wala namang pumupunta doon para magdasal, then definitely, no, the the their goal is not attained, no, because yung goal dapat nila is to organize the people and to to let them realize that there is God, no. No? Kasi meron naman silang God, no? But if you just nagpatayo ka ng building dyan and then walang nangyari, then huli mo naman sila ginather, and then hindi mo sila in-empower, then definitely that is useless. So, here, community organizing is not a short-term invention, I should say, but rather is a strategic process. Hindi lang, ito, ganito gagawin natin. Pupunta tayo, magbibigay tayo ng mga pagkain sa kanila dahil hindi lang ganun. No? Dahil sila ay mahirap. So, there should be a plan kung ano yung needs ng certain community. It is about people, about changing their social structures responsive to the needs of the masses. So ano yung needs ng masses? For example, there is a injustice in a certain community. Ano yung gagawin mo? Or uh, financial problem, no? Ano yung gagawin mo? Magbibigay ka na lang ba ng pera, or you mag-i-invite ka na magaling mag-farm, and then turuan mo sila kung paano mag-farm, and so forth and so on. So that is the strategy of community organizing. But So for example, problematic sila sa farm nila, no? So a lot of things na pwedeng gawin, no? So it is a slow process, but do not make it slower. Ha? Community organizing is not something prescribed by expert, nor can be legislated by landlord-dominated parties. So what is the goal of community organizing? So among the goals of community organizing is people's empowerment. Take note of this. By the word empowerment, you have to empower them because bakit wala ba? Oh yes, there are many people, young now, or youngsters, they don't go to school and you are so fortunate na kayo ay nag-aaral. And so, hindi porket nakapag-aral ka naman, no, ikaw naman yung dinidiin-diin mo yung mga hindi nakapag-aral. Dahil, ganyan. So, sabi nga ng OIC president ng school natin, no, sabi niya, those, yung mga tao talaga na believe siya, yung mga kahit hindi siya nakatapos, pero gumagawa pa rin sila ng tama. Kahit pa, no, sabi niya, kahit pa yung naka-board ka, top-notcher ka, natapos mo na ang lahat, pero yung pagkatao mo ay hindi makatao, then that is useless. And that is the very reason why we have to empower them. So sometimes kasi may mga tao talaga na wherein porket nakatapos sila, akala nila ang taas-taas nila, pero nakapatong lang pala sila sa likod ng kalabaw, no? So come to think of it. Kaya pagdating ng panahon na kapag graduate na kayo, hopefully that hindi kayo yung taong lumilipad, no? Na sobrang taas ng tingin mo sa sarili mo. Alright? So, that is just only a reflection. No? Okay. Now, likewise, community organizing aims encourage people power that is collective consciousness. There should be conscious, aware dapat ang nangyayari sa mundo. No? So, let them see. Kaya yan yung goal dapat ng media na sasabihin nila kung ano yung nangyayari sa Pilipinas, sa ating lugar, no? So, and actions and social issues pushing for social transformation. So, dapat aware ka sa mga nangyayari. Alam mo na may pandemic ngayon, alam mo kung ano yung nangyayari ngayon, and so forth. So, and premise on truth, justice, freedom, and liberations. My question is, what about justice in the Philippines? Is justice prevailing in the Philippines? Is it like that? So, maraming namamatay dito halos araw-araw, may pinapatay kung saan-saan, and so forth and so on. So liberations, people are literally free or not, or are they free? Uh, so those are the questions. So building, sustaining relatively permanent structures, people's organizations are also objectives of community organizing. These organizational structures should best serve the interests of the poor majority of the alternative social order. Finally, community organizing should be geared towards solution of the collective needs, problems of the people. So, dapat na-address natin yan. So, what are the basic principles in community organizing? So, start where the people are. So, ano yung basic principle niya? Provided below, basic guided effective community organizing. So, paano maging effective? So, ito yung gagawin mo. Start where the people are. Of course, no? Saan ka ba mag-i-start? Saan ka kung saan yung tao, no? People move based on self-interest, no? Wag yung self-interest, no? Let the people decide, hindi ikaw yung nagde-decide. Number 4, don't protect people from hardships, no? Oo nga, nahihirapan, no? Parang sinisugarcoat mo. So, number 5 is make self-reliance as the keyword. Number 6, equal division of efforts and benefits. So, of course, there should be equality. Target both and tactical and strategic perspective. And then move from simple to complex. Right? So, those are basic principles in community organizing. Now, let's go with the last one. So models and approaches in community organizing. So there are at least no, models in community organizing that we shall study under this section. So first is the classical model, conflict model secondly, and then uh, conscientization, and then among the key, and then eclectic approach or Alinsky Freire fusion. So there are fusions. Then after this, it's essay. All right. So what are these? So let's go with the classical model. Community development or locality development is considered as a process designed to create conditions of economic and social progress for the whole community with the fullest participation of the people. So the six redistribution of power, resources or decision making powers in the community, changing basic policies. This is like the democracy, no? This is like the democratic power, no? Na ang power ay nasa tao. So process, there should be a participation of the people. Take note of this. So pag sa classical model, there should be the power should be in the people. There should be participation with the people sa mga tao, redistribution of power, resources, the decision making powers in the community. Hindi yung leader lang yung nag-decide. That is classical model. That is according to Rothman. What about conflict confrontations? By the word conflict, no? The model is systematized and popularized by Saul Alinsky based on his experience in organizing black ghettos in Chicago. It was popularized in the Philippines by PECCO through training organization. Was the first people organization established. No? This approach became a leading and effective strategy during the period of political repression because it allowed the tackling of issues at the grassroots level. Take note of this. So the basic features of models are as follows. So use of conflict controversies to agitate for change. First, no, parang alam nila. So pag may conflict, ano yung maganda dito, hindi maganda dito. And then next one is use of self-interest to fund this content towards involving people in personal communities. Right? Number three, encourages mass mobilizations. Okay, so we encourage the people to work with the community. Magkipag sa palaran, no? Alright? And then negotiations with confrontations strategy. There should be confrontation. And then five is issue to issue approach. There should be approach. And then use pressure tactics. I don't know how did they, paano nila ginawa to. I don't have any examples, no? But these are the things, no? That they use. Okay, the models that they use. All right. Next is conscientization, no models. Conscientization comes from the Portuguese word conscientizacao, no, which means the process of developing people's critical awareness of their situation in relation to bigger social realities and their own capacity to transform realities. Right? So, Paulo Freire, a Brazilian educator who exposed a new kind of literacy campaign among the third world countries, especially Brazil and Guinea-Bissau. So, they promoted this model. So, among this, no, number one, ano yung key principles ng ganyan? Number one is no education is neutral or apolitical. Hindi neutral yung education. It either demonstrates or liberates. Ibig sabihin, yung education nila ay dapat gumagalaw. Hindi lang yung hanggang dito. No? There should be demonstrations. Hindi siya neutral. Okay? Demonstrates means imposing on the people the values and culture dominant class. Take note of the word impose. Nag-i-impose yung education. Ito yung dapat gawin. Ito yung gagawin natin. Liberates means helping people become critical. It helps us to become critical agents. Free agents again age of development. So we, the educator or those who are studying, tayo yung nagliliberate sa mga tao. Since some of the people did not uh, opportunities or privileges to go to school, then that is their goal of education. That's why education has a vital role in empowering the what we call the people. Yan yung napaka-best. No? That is the very reason why pasalamat kayo. No? Kasi binigyan kayo ng opportunity para makapag-aral. Another thing is issue must have importance to people. Take note of that. Felt versus real. Ano yung nararamdaman mo sa realidad. No? Issues must have importance to people. Problem posing approach. And then number 4 is importance of dialogue. This is very important. Without dialogue, hindi kayo nag-uusap in certain community in both parties, then definitely mahirapan kayo. Education must be mutual, be learning process. There should be a learning process. And number 5, action, reflection, action, practice. Reflecting critical on what they're doing and the reality of their social environment. So there should be a reflection. So ganito yung nangyari in the past. So ano yung next na gagawin ko? Ano yung next na gagawin ko? What is experience? No? So that is maganda. Conscientization. There is a reflection of what happened no? To the past. No? And then ano yung gagawin mo na for the future. Alinsky model did not offer a long-term program for the training of the people. Rather, this Alinsky model is grounded politically to the class of struggle unfolding there. Frere's model was grafted into Alinsky's strategy. So, kinuha niya lang kay Alinsky. No? So, education grafted component is give sharper the ideological focus on dimension for working with the depressed, oppressed, poor, exploited, and deprived. The results of eclectic approach or model in community. So what is eclectic actually? Yan, ito. So medyo palaban itong eclectic approach. No? So and then pinag-combine ni eclectic approach ito, no? Pinag-combine dahil it's a fusion, Alinsky-Freire fusions. So, pinag-combine niya. Alinsky model did not term program for, so pinag-combine na niya yung approach ng Alinsky, which is the approach of Alinsky is actually, what's that? Yeah, the conflict and Freire is conscientization. So, dahil meron siyang conflict, no, nag-aaralan nila, nagre-reflect sila kung ano yung nangyari. So kanina yung isa radical, yung isa naman is more on radical siya, ibig sabihin ito yung gagawin, ito yung gagawin. Pero yung conscientizations there should be a reflections. But in eclectic pinag-combine nila yon yung radical and para this is used for fighting for the press, helping the poor, and so forth and so on. The injustices in a certain community. So that is actually our lessons, no? And the teacher's insights. All of these are happening in the environment. So basahin natin, no? This observation is beginning of manifest in the Philippines due to political squabbles. This is reality. For example, Metro Manila has been pursued street demonstrations by different interests and political groups. This even compounded with economic downfall, particularly now that we are suffering from COVID-19. Neighborhoods are pestered by criminalities, no? Kung saan-saan na lang, no? Namamatay yung mga tao, pinabaril na lang. And then in the other parts of the country, political warlords continues to create havoc in many communities. Yeah. So those are the problems. All of these are happening with our environment. And if we forget that we are human persons, that's why the role of education is to empower them na to remind that we are human person, na tayo ay tao, para tayo ay sabihin sa kanila na just is to remind ourselves, no, our community, na tayo ay tao, na meron tayong buhay. No? That sometimes kasi we tend to forget that we are human persons And then if we tend to forget human persons, then in our attitudes, in our actions, we are inhuman. Kaya kung ano-ano na lang ang pinagagawa. And that this could be a great challenge to all of us as a teacher and also at the same time as students. So if you have some questions, then okay. So if you have some questions, just ask me in our messenger group. Okay, and then this one would be on the midterm already. So if you have some questions, particularly on the subject, then you may do so. You may post it in our group chat. So thank you so much and God bless. Hopefully that you watch these simple discussions and you follow it with your reading materials. So I suggest that you review well your lessons and in all subjects, and I wish you good luck for your examinations. God bless you and goodbye.